Hello, welcome to Second 50. This video is a basic mobility routine. It consists of three parts: an upper body part, a lower body part, and then a shoulder, in particular, mobility part. So the first part, the upper body part, I do every single day. It's the basis and the beginning of every mobility series I do. The second part, for the lower body, I also do most days. I always do it before I do some kind of an activity like a tennis or golfing or paddle tennis or anything like that. The third piece is a shoulder warm-up and shoulder mobility piece. So these three pieces are essentially, they're dynamic stretches. They're stretches to get you started, to wake up your body. And so we will go through all three of them. They'll take you a while to do it first until you get used to them. But once you get used to them, the whole series can be done in 10 to 15 minutes max. 15 to 20 minutes if you really want to take your time and do it right. But you can do it in as little as 10 minutes. And I'd say if you give yourself 15 minutes in the morning, you can do the whole thing. And you don't need to do the shoulder piece necessarily unless you're getting ready to play a racket sport or to do something that involves climbing or jumping around or being particularly active with the upper body. I do all three of them before any kind of an activity. You'll find that you'll mix and match them a little bit. But this is the basic mobility routine that I recommend as kind of a standard to get your body, wake your body up and to get the blood flowing and to get the muscles warmed up. So here we go. So let's get right into it. I usually wear slippers of some sort so I get just a little bit of traction. Ideally, you've got a wall that you can do this on. If you don't have a wall, you can use a door jamb, and I'll show you why that's important. So what we're going to start with, we're going to putting our heels against the wall, our butt against the wall, shoulders against the wall. Throughout this whole series, we're going to want to have that back and all of the back part of our body against the wall. And so we're going to start out by taking our hands, we're going to open up the chest a little bit and the shoulders. So I want you to take your hands and kind of form almost like a thumbs down here with your fingers curled back, thumbs down, and put your knuckles against your temples. And then we're going to rotate forward and back. And I do this about 15 times. And so what we're doing, you'll feel this opening up your chest, opening up your abdomen, your shoulder blades behind you. Again, keeping the back of your head against the wall, working on doing about 15 of these, and slowly and deliberately opening up so that you're bringing your arms back against the wall. Against your temples, try not to just have your hands in any manner. This thumbs down against the temples here is the way you want to do this. 15 of these, nice and slow, standing up straight. Next step, we're going to do what's called windmill. You're going to put your arms out to the side like a T, and then you're going to rotate your head against the wall as much as is comfortable. This is going to be a little bit hard for you if you haven't done it much. It'll take a while to get comfortable with this. But to the degree you can, put your arms against the wall, and then you're going to rotate to the left just until you feel resistance, and then rotate to the right. We're going to do this 5 times. Nice and slow. And notice how my hips are not moving. My hips are staying steady. It's just my upper body twisting at the waist. I think that's for, again, keeping your arms against the wall, backs of your shoulders, and head against the wall. So we're doing 5 of those. Then we're going to widen our stance. Feet pointed straight forward. Widen the stance a little bit and do the same thing again. So arms back against the wall, butt against the wall, everything against the wall. And now rotating. And now you can usually you can go a little bit further here. Again, 5 of these. Nice and slow. That's 3. Keeping your hips 4. Keeping your hips stable and quiet against the wall, just moving your upper body. Now we come back up, feet pretty much shoulder width apart. And then what I do is I do something called a nerve flossing. So I'll floss my right arm. See the way it's almost like I'm carrying a platter on my right arm. And then I'll slide my arm out with that hand pointing down. And you'll feel right in here, you'll feel a stretch. And what you're doing is you're loosening up the nerves and the different ligaments, nerve casings in your arm. I do about 5 to 10 of those. And you can adjust how much of a stretch you get based on how aggressively you put that hand down. So 5 each side, left side, facing forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now here comes what's probably the most difficult part of this stretch. Put your hands up like you're surrendering here, like goalposts, and then keeping the backs of your hands against the wall, back of your body against the wall from the heels up to the butt, shoulder blades. You're going to slide up and slide down, keeping those arms as parallel as possible with your shoulder blades against the wall, the back of your head against the wall, to the degree you can. When you first do this, it's going to be difficult because you're really opening up your upper back. So you may have to have your arms off the wall a little bit, and that's okay. But the goal here is to do 15 of these, slowly up and down. And you're going to feel this stretch all through your shoulders. You're going to feel it through your back. You're going to feel it even in your core and your abdomen. And by the time you get to about 9 or 10 here, you're going to start to feel really warm from the inside. And that's a sign that your body's warming up, waking up. And this is a nice way to start the day, start the morning. I may have lost count here a bit. I think if you can do 15 of these, again, keeping your arms, shoulders against the wall as much as possible, that's the goal. Okay. Then you can do a little shoulder shrug here. I'll do a little shoulder shrug. Kind of loosen things up. And then we finish back to the windmill where we started, with feet about shoulder width apart. Up we go into our T windmill. And now you actually will feel a little bit looser here as you do 5 of these. And here comes 4. And here's 5. So this is a combination. Right now, the Egoscue method is what taught me this windmill. And then I've added in a couple other little things as well. One of the things I've added in is a rotational stretch. So the second part of this, take a little foam pad if you've got one, or you can roll up a towel or something, put it down on the ground, and then you're going to go down so that the foot against the wall is going to be in this position, kneeling position, and your outside leg is going to be down about shoulder width apart on the pad. And what we're going to do here is we're going to do, let me just show you this quickly, we're going to do this rotation from one side to the other. Now, ideally, you're close to the wall, you put your palm against the wall, and then you watch your hand as you come up and around, up and around. And we're going to do 10 of these. And what this is doing, and you're going to feel this nice rotation in your upper back. And if you can see how, if you can do it, I want you to watch your hand as it comes up and over, because that's also going to get your neck moving and your head rotating. Obviously, you have neck or back problems, you'll have to adjust and modify this to a point where you're comfortable. But what we're doing here is we're getting our upper back to rotate, which is something we tend not to do enough of. And if the upper back isn't loose and rotating, that rotation comes from the lower back. And the lower back is not designed to rotate as much as it is to bear weight. So we want to loosen up that upper back, those shoulders, so that we can, I think that's about 10. So do the best you can with that. If you have to, modify it a bit, you can only go a little bit to start with, that's fine. If you can't watch your hand, just keep your eyes steadily, your gaze steadily ahead of you. But ideally, you're watching your hand come over and back. Once we've done that, put our arms together. We're going to open up like we're opening up a book and stretch around. Once again, engaging that rotation of the upper body. And I do 5 of these. Just come around nice and slow. Your goal is to tap that wall if you can. And see how I'm watching my hand again? Hand-eye coordination, watching my hand go around. It's also helping my neck to rotate. That's another little trick. So then we come up and we switch to the other side. Inside leg against the wall, comes down, touching against the wall. And the outside leg, the right leg in this case for me, is about shoulder width apart, and I'm kneeling here. I take my palm against the wall, and I can hold your other leg if you want, and I do the same thing. I come up and around. One side is probably going to be a little tighter than the other. This side's a little tighter for me. Nice and slow, watching my hand as I come around, getting that nice twist in the thoracic spine, the upper back area, and the neck. So that's 3, nice and slow. 4, all of this will be uncomfortable at first. It was for me for quite a while. 5, but the more you do it, the more comfortable it becomes. Now our arms at a T, opening up. 1, see how I'm watching my hand as I do this. 2, and each time I try to go just a little bit further. 3, until I'm tapping the wall. When I first started, I could only go about here, so expect that initially. As you get better at it, you'll be able to go further. 4. Okay. Now we're going to do the lower body sequence. You may have to modify some of this based on your flexibility and mobility and how comfortable you are with these movements. And you may omit or add 1 or 2 of these things depending on how much time you have. This whole series, the upper body and the lower body, can be done in as little as 10 or 12 minutes if you're moving quickly. I like to have 15 to 20 minutes. I usually take about 20 minutes before I play tennis or before I do any kind of active activity, golf, tennis, working out, any kind of cardio, that sort of thing. Get everything warmed up. This comes, a lot of this is based on Kelly Starrett's morning spin up, as he calls it. It's just a really good way to dynamically warm up your body. And I've added in a couple other things along the way that have been useful for me. So I would start, the first thing I'll do is I'll get down into a squat and kind of move around a bit here to get things loosened up a bit. Again, if you're not comfortable getting into a squat, maybe you can use a little stool or something just to get moving around a bit, or skip that part if you're not comfortable with it. From there, from having done that a bit, and I'll hold that for 30 seconds or for a minute, I will go into a movement like this where I do 10 of these rotations. Move a little bit so you can see. So now I'm rotating my leg in my hip socket to loosen that up a bit. If you're not comfortable going into this position with your, if you don't have the ankle mobility or you're not comfortable in the squat, then you could sort of do it. You could put one knee down and you could do it this way. But what I like is to rotate this this leg. So I'm feeling a little bit of movement there, starting to get things loosened up just a bit. The idea of these warm-ups is to get your muscles, dynamic warm-ups, moving so that they're used to being stretched a bit, so that when they are stretched, when you're lunging or moving quickly, you don't tear the muscle. Okay, so having completed that, I'll come up into a position like this, and I'm just moving around a bit. You can feel the stretch on your inner thigh. You can feel the stretch. Just trying to push everything to its limit, not so it's super uncomfortable, just until I feel resistance. So I'm telling my body, hey, today we're going to be moving around a bit. Moving around might be just going to your office and sitting at the desk, but at least you've gotten a good start on the day. And if you are going to do something more active, this is getting everything ready for that. Okay? Now, we come down into a stretch where we're going to be doing a couple different things. I like to start my right leg forward, so I always remember which leg is which. Holding the stretch here, putting my knee down. I don't usually use a pad for this, but you could if you wanted a pad on your rear leg, rear knee. Put the knee down, and then I do this stretch. I do it, there are 3 or 4 positions. The first position, I go straight down in front, and I kind of do 1, gently, 2, 3 movements. Again, I'm just moving to that point where I feel the resistance. Then, right arm forward, I reach out to the left, and I do it again. 2, 3. You could do 2, 3, you could do 5 of these. Just kind of do it as you feel comfortable. You'll feel that stretch all through here. It's a really nice way. Not only are you opening up your upper body and your shoulder, but you're continuing to opening up this hip. I'll do it off to the side, then I'll reach out in front and do it. Start slow and easy until you get the hang of this. I'm pretty comfortable with it now. I probably do this almost every day, and I do it every time before I work out. Now we go over to the right, same thing, reaching out, 2, 3. Again, that feels good. Yeah, do another one. There's no magic to this. And then I come around and I face backward, and I do the same thing. 1, push that left hip, 2, 3, and look up over my shoulder. And now I'm feeling that nice stretch back in my hamstrings and twisting in my back. Then I come up and I come back into this position. And again, you want to be gentle here. And you just move around in some different positions, testing the limits of that muscle stretch. So it's not painful. You can feel it. Okay, there's some resistance. So I kind of stop there, come back. Moving around, you're finding points of resistance. And what you're doing is you're kind of getting these muscles woken up. You're getting some blood flow here. You're telling everybody, hey, we're going to get active here. So you just kind of move around like this. Get a nice stretch through that whole back of your leg. And then go to the other side. Come back to all fours. Left leg forward. I like to start up so that my knee's off the ground, so I'm feeling a little bit of a stretch up here. There we are. And then I'll put my knee down on the ground. Again, use a pad if you want. What do we do? Our first one, right hand can steady you here. We're going to go down 1, 2, 3. And you only go as far as you can. You may not be able to go at all. You may just be here, and this may be enough of a stretch. And if that's the case, that's fine. If your hip flexors are tight, this may be all you can do. Maybe you can just come down a little bit like that. 3 of these now. Remember, we go over to the side, reach out with that left hand, and oh yeah, 2, 3, like that. And then forward, 1, 2, 3, and then to the side. Just feeling everything starting to get activated, and then twist around and look up. 1, 2, 3. This looks slow because I'm doing it slowly to show you how to do it. But when you're really doing it, it can happen very quickly. You're doing a couple each side, coming around. The whole thing shouldn't take more than 10 minutes. Coming back, leaning back. Yeah, that's tight on that side for me today. So I'm just moving into these different positions. Each one of them, I'm feeling that range of motion. I'm getting to that end range. So dynamic stretching means you're moving, you're testing, you're pushing on the muscle's limits of its range, as opposed to a static stretch where you might just hold it here and not move. This is moving. You want to be careful with this. You don't want to go too hard if you're not warmed up yet. But the point is to get those muscles warmed up, get the blood flowing, get the system ready so that when you lunge for a shot, or when you take a golf swing, or when you jump or run or do something, you have to avoid a ditch if you're out running. Your body is already stretched, so it's not going to tear muscles. Okay, so we're done with that. Now what? Now I like to do 10 cat-cows. Just kind of get that back engaged here a little bit. That's 4, 5. If you want to get the blood flow in the back, lower back. I think that's about 8, 9. That's about 10. And then I'll come up into a downward dog. And by the way, you can do this barefoot if you're more comfortable. If I'm doing it in the morning, I'm often doing it barefoot. I'm wearing these little house slipper things that have a nice grip on the bottom. So I like to wear these when I'm stretching. So for this downward dog, feel free to, again, move around a little bit in and out of different positions. You want to get those calves stretched. If you're getting ready to do a workout that involves running and jumping, especially as you get older, you want to make sure that Achilles has a little bit of a warm-up, ready for movement. There we are. Okay. I try to hold that for 8 or 10 breaths. I won't hold it for that long today. You can mix and match this a little bit. If you're short on time, do a little bit less. If there's an area where you feel like you need more, stretch a little bit more. But this combination of the upper body and the lower body, the whole thing should take 15 to 20 minutes. It'll get you ready. There's one more upper body part that I do before playing tennis or golf that I will show you now. Okay, so this is the last piece. I don't do this every day, but I do this before a sporting event where I'm going to be using my upper body. And this one I've taken directly from Kelly Starrett. He calls it his upper body spin up or something. But this I've found to be a great way to get your shoulders and your upper body, shoulders in particular, loosened up and ready for activity. Start with just a simple kind of a, I don't know what, body hug sort of thing. Do 5 or 6 of these. And then do this motion where I'm going forward as if I'm paddling or as if I'm swimming, like a doggy paddle. And I'll do 10 of these, quite deliberate. I'll do 10 of these on each side. And that gets me, try to keep your hips and lower body as still, and just bring that, you see how I bring that around? Here I have to turn the arm and move it. And I'll do 10 of these on each side. Particularly important if you're playing golf or racket sport, pickleball. You want to get those shoulders loosened up. reaching out, bring it around, reaching out, bring it around. So I'll do 10 of these. If I'm short of time, I might do 5 of them. But usually I have time to do them. So that's forward. Now we're going to do the same thing backward. So we're going to come backward like we're paddling backward. And this time you'll have to move your hand as you get to the top. You'll have to change the direction of your palm. So you're scooping up like that. Again, 10 of these. That's about 10. 10 the other side. And by now, if you've done the first section, the wall slide, you've done the lower body, and now you're doing this shoulder, upper body. By the time you're done with this, you're nicely warmed up. You're safely warmed up for activity. Okay? And in between these, I'll usually do that sort of a body hug thing. Okay, now, remember we did the nerve flossing earlier when we did this one on the wall? We'll do the same thing here. We're going to go from side to side, sort of flicking our arms for 10 different movements. You see how I kind of flick my arm. You'll feel this in here. You're warming up your shoulders, nice and loose. Don't have a lot of muscle tension here. Just floating back and forth. Flick at the end, flick at the end, flick at the end. And you do this sideways like this, and then you do it front to back. Same thing, front to back for 10. There you go. And then, this is the second to last one. There's a movement where you bring your front and your left and right arm, one in front, one behind, in a swinging motion. 3, 4, turn so you can see. Coming up, sort of trying to touch that back shoulder blade, getting that nice movement in the shoulders. Again, all credit to Kelly Starrett for this. He's the one who showed me this shoulder movement. He runs a website called the Ready State Mobility website. Okay, so we did that. And then the last one, rotating. Don't go too forcefully on this at first. But if you're playing golf, that movement, if you're playing tennis, if you're playing pickleball, this is getting you a little bit more active now. A little bit more active. Remember, we did the one where we were down on the ground like this. That wasn't as active. This is more active. So, what did we do? We did a little quick warm up like this. We went forward for 10. We went backward for 10. We went sideways. We went front to back. We did this movement here, swinging back and forth. And then we did this rotation. That's the shoulder preparation. And with that, you have a great warm-up. I promise you, once you do this, you will get comfortable with it. You can do it at as little as 10 minutes, ideally 15 to 20 minutes. And then you are ready for action. Thanks for watching.